Yeah, that does suck.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's been a struggle to get through is the port forwarding. And so I tried doing AWS, and that was a nightmare because somehow it accidentally deleted all of my worlds, and
Oh
it
shit.
was just a struggle to get things uploaded. Um, but the Forge is actually really nice. It's got a great user interface for um, managing your games. I like it. Um, it's just it would be nice to not have to pay for it if since I know how to self-host.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I haven't tried. I know a lot of people like Forge subscriptions, and I think maybe it's just to keep the server going so you don't always have to be online.
Yeah,
But haven't, like I said, haven't tried it.
yeah, and that's definitely one upside is that you've always got the worlds online unless you stop the world. Um, and like I've got 2 licenses, so like we can be playing in one world, and somebody can go into another world and work on their characters if they need to.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, but I bought the second license when it was on sale, so.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So yeah, we're playing on the Forge. The world, for the most part, is going to be up all the time. They are currently having some issues with version 11 of Foundry, so only one world is able to be up at a time with the Forge. So that kind of negates my 2 license is great. But
Yeah.
it is what it is for now. They are working on it. Should be fixed here quickly.
Okay.
Um, I am not expecting us to have everything ready for today. I'm not expecting at the end of the session for us to be jumping in and taking care of everything or starting the adventure. Just because I know some people are learning Forge, some people are learning Pathfinder, some are learning both. And so, um, and then with me throwing in a homebrew world, I'm going to be introducing you guys to a lot of the lore and the world itself. Um, so while you guys are working on logging in, I'll go ahead and just go over the house rules we're going to be playing with. It's nothing too crazy, I would like to think. Um, but here we go. So for and oh yeah, house rules and the FAQs, I have them pinned in the announcements channel, so you guys can always find them. Um, and it's Google Docs, so it's always online.
Works.
You guys do have comment rights, so you can highlight something and then start commenting on it. Um, so if you needed a clarification at a later time or something, that's a great way to do it. And then just send me a DM. Hey, I commented on this. Can I get some clarification? Um, but yeah. So first things first. Character creation. Um, Hopefully, you guys only have to go through this once. Realistically, you might have to go through it twice. Um, that's just how the game goes sometimes. Trust me, I lost 2 characters back to back. What 2 weeks ago?
I had nothing to do with that.
You only had half of any doing with those, but that one was a fun one to finish off. So that was pretty cool. Um, Playable species. Um, I should it should be ancestries. Um, I came over from 5th edition. I hate how they used races, so I used species. Um, but playable
I always
ancestries.
liked heritages.
Heritages is great too. But they have heritages as something else in Pathfinder, so that's why I can't use it. um, so ancestry wise, you guys are allowed to use common and uncommon. Um,
Oh, fair.
the world wise, there's going to be lore that separates the two. and we'll get more into that when I start talking about the world. And so when you start looking at building your character with certain ancestries, that'll help guide you of, okay, maybe my character came from this part of the world or that part of the world. And I've also set it up in a way where you guys can say, well, my character came from this location and I might not have it placed on the map because it might be a settlement or something of the sort. And so then you get to help with, yeah, that location is going to be right around here on the map. And then we get to make a little location and add it to the map. So, um, class-wise, anything that's published and made available to the GM. So what I mean by published and made available to the GM, so like, oh gosh, now I'm blanking their names. Uh, they're pretty big in the
Battle Zoo?
community. What was that, Aaron?
Battle Zoo?
Battle Zoo. Yep. Roll for combat. Their kind of stuff. If it's published and you've got access to it, if you can like send me a screenshot or a picture of the page, if you got a physical, that's going to work great for me. What's even better is if we have a way to import it into Foundry, then there's almost no work for us to do on that, which is very helpful. Because the group that has made the PF2E game system in Foundry has done a marvelous job. And the people who have third-party content almost always have a module that we can install. So they do a really good job with this game system. Backgrounds, pretty much everything that's published by Paizo for background, you're going to be good to go with. When we start looking at the rare stuff, definitely ask me, because I know some of those can kind of situational. So, starting equipment tools, nothing special here. Start with 15 gold pieces and common rarity stuff. And then, of course, when we get to level 2+, if someone joins in or is created, we'll be using the lump sum table that's provided by this hyperlink. Oh, I should probably share my screen with you guys too, huh? There we go. Alright, so normally I'm not so stressed about running a game, but I've never really ran in my homebrew world a campaign. So I've been kind of stressed about it lately. And so I totally blew over having everybody introduce themselves.
It's all good.
And I'm actually pretty bad about that aspect anyways. But yeah, since most of us, we are meeting for the first time, yeah, so let me go ahead and do this. I normally don't turn on my camera, but I will go ahead and start off with that. I am Sean. I'm going to be your GM. I've been running Pathfinder since about April, but I've been running D&D before that for about 2 years. Got started with COVID, but my first introduction was in 2016. My brother ran a one-shot for me. I absolutely loved it. Read all the 5th edition rules and was ready to play, but I could not find anything locally to play with anyone. And Aaron and Baines, they've met me in person. They know what kind of community I live in. It is a very small community. So it's very hard to find a group of people. And so when COVID hit, it's like, all right, well, there's got to be a resource online. And so I found groups online and I started DMing. And so for D&D, I was a forever GM. I get over to Pathfinder, I run maybe two short adventures, and then I get pulled into campaigns left and right. So I've done more playing at Pathfinder than I have GM'd. But Aaron and Baines can attest to this. I'm always happy to help with rules. But for the most part, when it comes to your characters, they're your characters, they're your responsibility. But that's not to say if you have a question, I'm going to be happy to help. At the same time, uh, Aaron and Baines, I know you guys are both very knowledgeable as well. They are also great to turn and talk to as well. So, um, that's me. I do have 2 children, and so that's why I have these late games, is because putting them to bed. So,
And the puppy.
oh yeah, got a puppy and a kitty too, but those two aren't as much troublemakers. So that's me. And normally I don't have my webcam on, but I figured for my introduction, since I've got it, I may as well use it. So I'm going to turn it off now.
He's also really tall.
Extremely
Yes,
tall.
I am 6'7", so yep, tall is true. I'm just going to go ahead and go down the Discord list alphabetically. So Aaron, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh crap, it's Aaron. Yeah. So, um, I've been playing D&D since like second edition when my dad introduced me to it back in like the late 90s. I want to say. I started DMing sometime after that because nobody else wanted to run the games or learn the rules or read the books. That's just how that works. And I have a lot of fun reading stuff. Um, I met Sean through a Discord Pathfinder, like looking for group thing. Much like him, I've always been stuck DMing, so it's like I want to play, goddamn it, and with this guy, he's killed me multiple times. It's been fun, and yeah, you can ask me questions. I might not know, but I'll know where to send you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Baines. I've played role-playing games, tabletop role-playing games for like half my life, like 14 years. But I've had some really terrible D&D Dungeon Masters. I love Pathfinder. I love the system way more. I have game mastered like one game, so obviously I am an expert, and that's a joke. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Julian. You can call me Julian or Trojan, whichever you'd prefer. I haven't been playing RPGs for quite as long. As soon as I got into college, my college bookstore owner, the manager, like started talking to me about it, and he wrote me into my first campaign, and I've been playing ever since. That was Pathfinder. I've done a little bit of everything. Mostly Pathfinder, though.
Nice.
Nice to meet you as well. So I'm next. My name is Mike Hell, but Mike or anything Mike adjacent is fine. Let's see. I've been playing since about like 2019. A friend invited me to their game, and then the next year COVID happened, and I kept thinking, oh well, it'll be 2-3 weeks. I was supposed to start running for them at that time. And I was like, yeah, I'll just pick my game up like after this whole stay-at-home thing blows over. That was a miscalculation on my part. But at this point, I've only played 5e, and I've spent more time running it than like being a player. So I'm not sure how to describe myself as a player, but I do enjoy running the games. And I enjoy 5e for what it is, but I was interested in trying Pathfinder because I was thinking about adding a second campaign, like to my regular one, having 2 regular ones. And I was coming up with this homebrew document for martial characters. And I was like, okay, well, wouldn't it be cool if they could do this? And I was probably 3 pages in before I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this just play Pathfinder meme. So I really look forward to learning about the game. not having to plan out all the maps myself every week.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
I really appreciate the invite. I haven't played in so long. I feel like I almost don't even know what I'm doing at all. But I'm very excited. The premise is very interesting to me. I like spooky stuff. I like mystery, intrigue, all that.
Awesome.
Right on. I guess I'm the last one. I'm Shane. I'm from Vancouver. I moved here in 2019 so we moved for my wife's work. And I didn't really know that many people here, and I hadn't gotten into gaming before that, but I had the opportunity to join a campaign my brother was running online. So I started with some 5e, really enjoyed it, started playing and GMing my own games, and I kind of became the forever GM for the same reasons as some of you guys. I was the one who ran the rules and got everybody together and all that fun stuff. And then after the OGL, I dumped 5e entirely, and I used to play Magic as well. I got out of that because it already cost me too much money years ago, and now just Wizards of the Coast and everything that they're doing. And I like Pathfinder a lot. I find it really good. Still, I mean, especially now that I've made everybody switch to a different game system, I'm still the forever GM. I haven't been able to get all my friends together for adult life reasons, and so I'm reaching out to play online and meet people and do whatever. And so I'm gonna try and run games online. And Sean, thanks for letting me into this one.
Yeah,
It'll be great.
definitely. So yeah, since we are all strangers, there are going to be some FAQs that I'm going to go over that are kind of like boundary setting rules that we need to discuss. But for now, I'm just going to finish going through the house rules. We've already gone through all the character creation stuff, so that's the nice thing. Nice thing is character creation, I feel, is a lot simpler, but because of its simplicity, all the options make it complicated. If you are building out your character in Path Builder, I do have it so you can import your characters, so that's a little bit easier. And then if you're using some other system to create your characters other than Path Builder and want to import them over, I know there's some other tools that do that. So I'll just work with you on getting that done. Otherwise, building your characters out within Foundry is not that bad. They actually did a great job. So if we need help going through that later on, I am happy to help doing that. But for now, we'll go ahead and go through the what we're looking at for the house rules and whatnot. Really, there's only 2 custom rules I'm going to be using, or actually 3. First one is about items. Basically, if it's a homebrew item, it's subject to change between sessions if it's found to be unbalanced. With Pathfinder's rules, I don't really foresee that being an issue. They've done a good job. The other 2 are on natural 1s and natural 20s. So if you are attacking and you roll a nat 1 or a nat 20, there is a critical hit fumble deck. So if an NPC rolls a natural 20, they do not automatically get they do not get the critical hit deck versus you, the PCs. They do, however, get the critical fumble deck. As the player characters, you guys get to choose whether you want to opt in for the critical fumble deck or not. In my experience, it doesn't matter because you guys hero point that right away. And when I say opt in, it can be that Aaron opts in for the critical fumble deck and Baines opts out. That is totally fine by me. I just ask that you stay consistent from one session to the next, or for the session at least. It looks like I might be having internet issues. Are you guys still hearing me? Yeah. Alright, let me know when you guys hear me.
I can all.
Okay. Oh.
Very much.
Alright, there we go. Looks like I've reconnected. So where did I lose you guys? Or where did you guys lose me? Aaron, Baines, anybody?
I guess we could give it.
Are you able to hear me?
Maybe the middle of nowhere.
Alright, are you guys able to hear me now?
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Where did I drop off for you guys?
Dropped off asking if we could hear you.
Sam.
Okay, so you guys were able to
Consistency
hear
with the
about...
fumbles.
Okay, so you guys were able to hear that you guys can opt in or opt out on being part of the critical fumble deck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and like I was trying to get across, most of the time it doesn't matter because you guys hero point it. So. And then one thing I'm going to do is and this does not require you to be rolling an attack roll. If you roll a natural 20, I'm going to have it grant you a hero point. And then
Automatically.
that's automatic, unless you already have 3. If you already have 3, well, that sucks. But in the case of me rolling a natural 20, I basically have to use that hero point within the next round. And so if we're doing a social encounter and I roll a natural 20 on something, it's basically lost. And then we are going to play with 3 variant / optional rules. I've looked at a few other... I looked at all the optional rules. I had a few others in here originally, but then once I actually looked at them, I'm just like, I don't want these to be part of the campaign. So we've got Ancestry Paragon. So you're going to get more ancestral feats more often. The free archetype, so at level 2 and on, you get an archetype feat. And then instead of getting all of your ability boosts at a multiple of 5, you're going to get gradual ability increases as you level up, except for levels 6, 11, and 16. So that's all the house rules. Pretty quick and easy. I've got the links to Archives of Nethys for those optional rules on the house rules page, as well as a blurb or 2 about them. So nothing too extravagant or unusual. I think the most unusual one I'm going to be rolling with is the Nat 20 granting a hero point. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah.
I see you disabled your weighted dice mod.
Fine, I'll disable it.
Okay.
No, my 3 nat 20s in a row.
Oh my goodness, don't do that to me again. He seriously rolled out 3 nat 20s in a row, and I'm just like, how? Alright.
I think you followed it by a fumble, though, didn't you?
I think he did.
Oh yeah, I rolled a nat 1 after, but then like another nat 20 and then like another nat 1. It was great. It was like past fail classes.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy session. Alright. So, let me see here. I am trying to get... Oh, I did not want that one. Where now? There we go. That's what I want for now.
It's okay. Relax.
All right. For the FAQ, I'm gonna run through this pretty quick, just because it can be kind of long and lengthy. So the expectations, we're here to have fun. We're gonna, you guys, the intention is you guys get to kill stuff. Have fun with the role play. I don't expect people to do voices. If you want to do voices, go for it. I'm going to try and do some voices as well. Obviously, if I'm going to describe something, I'm going to use my normal voice, or else I'm not going to be able to talk for work the next day. And then getting loot, gaining experience, and then eventually over the long run, spending time with people doing the same thing that you enjoy, you end up becoming friends. I think Aaron and Baines can attest to that. So.
I don't know. That Sean guy is kind of lame.
All right, fair. I do
permanently cursed.
As for the game table, I do welcome up to 6 players. I have found that with Pathfinder, I find 5 is a much more manageable group, and so that's typically what we will have is 5. But having less than 4 is not ideal in my opinion. And so if we get to a situation where we're not going to be having 4 players, we will either, well, we'll cancel the session unless I'm able to get other people to sit in and play for the session or the adventure. And so in that case, we might have 6 players the next session, just because someone's filled in, and now they're just going to see out the adventure or something. But that's going to just be that's just going to depend on how things play out. But yeah, if we find that we're lose some players due to life situations or whatever it might be, I will start recruiting new players. And so it might be that I recruit 2 players, giving us 6 players in total. And because in my experience, usually one, sometimes both, don't work out for the table. So, but I'll have them go through the same vetting process of fill out this application, and then I'll add in a question of, are you okay joining an ongoing campaign? Obviously for you guys, that question was not applicable. And then if we do have new players join, I do have them join on a probation basis. And so basically, for the next 3 to 4 game sessions, they're on probation. And if they're not working out for the group, I'll have a conversation with that player and let them know, hey, either we need to see this change, or it's just not working out. I have let players go before because of this. And it is what it is sometimes, unfortunately. The few things that I just absolutely do not tolerate is sexual harassment, racism, or any other acts that attack any person. Because it's just not right. And it makes it a very toxic situation. And it really throws off the balance of the game. I've had it happen before where I would say it was sexual harassment. Oh boy, did that put a weird tension on the group. And so thankfully we kicked the person right away, but it made the session so uncomfortable. And that talk afterwards was very uncomfortable. But yeah, it's just how it is sometimes. And so the if any of that happens, the harassment, racism, anything that attacks a person, I don't care whether your status is a player or a probationary player, you're going to be done because it just does not settle well at the table. Now, I also understand a roleplay aspect of discrimination. There is some of that in the world that I have built. Hence why you'll find common Pathfinder races in one region more common, much more common, and then in other regions, the uncommon ancestries are more common. And then in another part of the world, far, far away from where the group is playing, is the rare ancestries. And so that's why you can't play any of the rare ones, is because they live in that part of the world and actually don't have a good reputation with the rest of the world. So there is a little bit of racism in the world, but I don't I don't want player versus player racism. All right, if that makes sense.
Right.
I feel like I'm beating this too hard, so I'm just gonna say, are we good?
Yeah.
All right.
That all
Sweet.
sounds good.
I think
Sweet.
so.
Yeah, we're not going to be a party of bigots. We're
There we go.
progressive thinking. A
Like that.
progressive
Yeah.
party.
Um, rules luring. Um, if you feel like a rule's not right, bring it up. The great thing about using Foundry is the rules are quickly accessible, especially when you pop out your thing saying, this is what I'm doing. It gives us the rules right there. If there's any questions or confusion on it, definitely bring it up. But rules luring, basically let a player run their character their way, and if they ask for clarification or ask for some help or guidance, that's one thing. But to tell people, hey, you need to cast this spell in this order, no. Just no. Let people be in control of their characters. The only time I'm ever going to take control of your character is if you're having internet issues or issues connecting, then I will move your character around. That's the only time I'm going to take control of your characters. Because they're yours. They're not mine. I've got all the world to play with. So, I've already got my hands full. With this being a homebrew world, and you guys getting to help kind of shape it, build it, each of you, you can each expect to come across times where you get to be in the spotlight. Now, if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. Let me know. You can send me a DM or something, and it could be in advance, or it could be at that moment. Hey, I'm not comfortable taking over right now. I can shift gears. All right, I can work with stuff. I'm happy to make it so this is a comfortable game experience no matter what. But I try to, since we are able to tie in you guys into the world so well, I do want to give each of your characters building opportunities. And so I do want to be able to pull out of your backstories and really tie you guys into this world. I think the only other thing there's two other things we really need to go over is uncomfortable situations and then PvP. For me, PvP, unless it has been agreed upon by both players and the group understands that it has been agreed upon and it's okay, I absolutely do not want to see you guys doing anything that would harm the other character's character, either financially, physically, or emotionally. Now, I do understand that sometimes one part of the group wants to do one thing and another part wants to do another thing, and then you guys end up doing your things, and it might cause some distress between the characters. That's one thing. But to find out, oh, this is this character's sibling? Okay, off with their head. Did you have a good reason for it? But yeah. And then obviously, if the PC is being charmed or controlled, then they're no longer in control. The player's no longer in control of their character. I am. That's a different situation. Because now it's you, the players, versus me, the GM. Yeah. Now, the one thing that we absolutely have to have a discussion on is situations that are absolute. It has to stop. We cannot do this. Things that I have said automatically, with no discussion, is vetoed, is rape, pornographic acts, descriptions, those kind of things. There's just no place for it. It makes it uncomfortable for people. So I'd rather just completely leave it out and not have it be a part of the game. Is there some things that I put up here as open to discussion is like torture, and then situations that are left open to interpretation, such as a woman being dragged into an alley by a pair of men. So are there any things that need to be added to this list, such as, hey, this is a thing to be cautious of, or hey, this is a hard line of no? And this is where I'm looking for some feedback.
Yeah, nothing for me. I'm good with all of that.
Yeah, I also have thick skin.
I think those two things already mentioned are basically the only ones that I would need to bring up.
Okay, so which two things? The torture and the situations left to interpretation, add those to the off limits, or?
I mean, for me, sexual assault is like, don't get me wrong, like, I love the Game of Thrones, but I'm not the person here, like, trying to write that, or I think it's best avoided.
Okay.
And torture, okay with torture, like, happening, but I will say, I ran a game last year, and it was a mystery, and during one part, the party cornered the mayor, and they used Zone of Truth, and they were trying to get some answers, and it's like, oh, that got a little more physical than I was expecting. In hindsight, I really wish I don't mind that was their course of action, but I really wish I had just, like, fast forwarded to the end result.
Okay.
Rather than having a whole scene play out. Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So, with torture, I'm going to say the description and the acting it out, I don't want that. That, I agree, is too much. But the alluding to, that one we're okay with?
The presence of it is fine. The end result, I just don't want to have I don't want to play out a torture scene, I guess is what I'm saying.
Alright, I agree with that. That is a great one to add. Torture, acting out, describing. Alright, that is a great point. So I don't foresee torture being a part of this campaign. If it happens to be that it ends up being included, the presence of it's okay, as long as it doesn't get descriptive or acted out.
Just kind of do like a Fade to Black, right? It's like, hey,
yeah,
it happens, like we go on to the next thing now.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can always pull the U.S. military, call it enhanced interrogation.
Now, there is a tool I have in place on Foundry. On the left-hand side, where you see the little human icon, most of the way down, you'll see a hand. It says "Raise my hand." if we ever get into a situation where you are not comfortable with what's going on, you can click that and it'll pop up saying, "Hey, stop," and it looks like we can all see it. And so like
Everybody
yeah,
saw that?
yep. So yeah, Shane pressed it, and that's what it looks like. Like, hey, we need to stop. That's what that hand is there for. Is, hey, this is not a good situation. We need to stop doing what this is. So that's what that's there for.
Very cool.
Other than that, I think everything else is just pretty much common stuff. I really, Aaron and Baines might disagree with this with the one shots. I don't know, but I try not to play the GM versus PC game. To me, that's the wrong mentality. And when I tried running my last campaign, a lot of my players said that my alignment as the GM is very much a neutral alignment. I'm going to be rooting for you guys, but I'm also going to be putting up challenges and trying to make it a fun experience for everybody. And it's a cooperative world. It's a cooperative game, and that's what we're ultimately looking for. A lot of group cooperation. So that is what I've got with the FAQs and house rules.
So Sean, I just want to double check here because I was making a burrito while you were talking about torture. We're following NATO rules for torture. Is that right? I can see it. It's fine.
So there, we might allude to the presence of, but we're not going to act it out or describe it.
Cool. Yeah, NATO rules.
Okay. So yeah, the house rules, FAQs, they're always available to you guys to look over, comment on. If you guys have any questions, now's a great time to open up and ask out.
I think the only
No
thing,
questions for me.
only thing I would actually add, just a little tidbit, would be he doesn't do the GM versus the players aspect, but
You
if we play
were
Super-
doing your burrito at that time. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me finish. If we play stupid, we play bad. We want to play smart at least. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, if you guys find, oh, hey, this hallway has mimics as doors, and you beat one, you beat another, you find the exit, oh, let's go beat up some more, you beat up another one. Alright, let's go kill some more of them. Well, some of those doors might start to react on their own. That or somebody in the party might just start rolling 4 natural 20s in a row. Oh gosh, that was crazy. Alright. There we go. It looks like everybody has been able to join Foundry, which is great. You guys should be able to have access to a tool called the taskbar. You can find that on the bottom of your screen, and it has a lot of different tools to it. It's really cool. So let's see here. I'm gonna work left to right. It's kind of like your Windows. If I'm assuming everybody's using Windows. If you're using Mac, I'm sorry, I don't understand your interface. But going left to right, you've got basically your Windows button. It pulls up a menu. Right now, your quick items, quick macros, those are going to be empty. But you'll find that you can control your user management, which kicks you out of the forge and back into the world to try and control your character, or your login stuff. So basically, you guys have no use for that. Then you have module settings. This will take you into the settings, or configure game settings. There are a few things that you might want to enable or disable. I'll let you go through and look through those. One thing I would recommend doing is going to the module that is called Dice So Nice. In here, Dice So Nice is a module that enables 3D dice. And so if you have a low-end graphics computer, you might want to, let's see here. There should be some settings here. I'll have to look. But basically, yeah, you get to roll some fun-looking dice, just like Aaron just did. If you click on 3D dice settings, you can customize how your dice look. Apparently, I've already done mine for here. So like,
Crap.
there is a ton of customization with this. Go wild with it, have fun with it. They look nice. They really do. That is the only one off the top of my head that I can think of that you need to bother with. I think everything else that I find useful as a player, I've already enabled for everybody automatically. If you find that something doesn't work module-wise or in the game, let me know, because usually it's because of a module or something. So just send me a message, hey, this isn't working right, or I'm not able to do X, Y, or Z. We can always try and work and figure it out. That's one nice thing I like about Foundry, is it's so modular that we can change almost anything. All right, so that's the easy way to get to your game settings. There is a macro directory underneath. Let's see here, configure ownership. I want everyone. So everyone has access to some modules already, or some macros. My bad. And I see Aaron imported some. Oh, I did not want to export that. I wanted to ownership. There we go.
I didn't import any. They're already in your thing.
Yes, but I mean, you imported them into the directory for macros, the active directory. Yeah. And so
They're nice.
What I went ahead and did is made it so everybody has access to those ones, just because these are some of the ones that are very helpful. So yeah, if you're able to click on the arrows that point away with the slash in the middle, that is the macro directory. Everyone should be able to access and have ownership over the basic action macros. This one is a very fun one that Aaron recently discovered and shared with me. It basically, once you have your character built, you can click on that and it'll pull up all these different all the different actions, your proficiencies, and that kind of thing. And so it also lets you know, hey, this person's trained in this, or you're trained in this, and it'll let you know what you're the best at within the group. Which, I mean, you guys as characters would kind of know, hey, I'm generally better suited at medicine, or I'm better suited at athletics. It's a little metagamey, but it's kind of the truth of the situation. You guys would know your strengths and weaknesses and how they align with the group.
The best part about this particular module is it just gives you a list of actions that are available to your character. Anything that's grayed out, you can't do. So that makes it, as a newer player for Pathfinder at least, easy to like just know what it is I'm capable of.
Um, let's see here. Um, other than that, you have a refresh foundry and a logout button. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Once you've built out your character, I would recommend that you go ahead and drag and drop your character onto the quick items. That way you have an easy access to your character sheet. Now, granted, poor Shane. Uh, granted, you can always hit C and it'll pull up your character that's assigned to your user. So there's that access as well. The macros that we looked at earlier, you can drag them on there onto the quick macros for quick and easy access. So that's this module. You also have a search function. So if you type or click on the magnifying glass, you can type in what you want to find. So like if I wanted to find the macro for reloading, if you have a weapon that has reload, then you've got that macro right there. You can click on it, and now that's available. So,
Do you know where the hotbar was?
What?
The hotbar?
Hotbar. The hotbar, I believe, is actually hiding behind it. Behind the taskbar. So the taskbar, you have your quick macros in the little pop-up window. What I'll do, Aaron, do you want the hotbar available or some version?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There's a module that is available that I've got, which if you click with your, I don't have it enabled right now, but if you click with your mouse wheel, it'll open up a radial hotbar. Would that work for you? Or do you want the
Yeah,
standard? Because I can make the standard work too.
It's showing up now. It's stuck behind this taskbar thing, so it makes it hard to use.
All right. Let's do this. All right. I'm gonna save that change. Let me do this. All right, Aaron, go ahead and reload your Foundry. I made a change in settings for you.
I did it.
Okay.
Because it told me to.
Awesome. Now you should have the macro bar up above. Dumb dog. Ran into the fireplace. But yeah, so that should be there for you now.
I'm refreshing again, but it looks like it might not have worked.
Okay. If that's the case, let me know, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yep. It didn't work.
Okay. I'll try to work with you on that one later, so we can keep going. Any windows that you open up, you'll find, just like with Windows, the operating system, they'll show up in your taskbar on the bottom, and if you minimize, that's where they'll go. That's why. It didn't take the save change, Aaron.
Oh.
And so on the bottom is your taskbar. You'll find all the different windows you have open. That way you can easily collapse them, open them up as best as you can need. Let's see here. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. There we go. On the right side of your taskbar, there is a little like circle that's split in half. That is for the world clock. I would recommend just double tapping that. It pulls it into the taskbar at that point and keeps it nice and clean. If you want the taskbar to drop down, just like the Windows taskbar does by default when you're not using it, leave that little lock unhooked. Otherwise, close it and the taskbar will stay up. The gears, that'll take you to configure settings. The X on that window, it'll close all your open windows automatically for you if you do that one, which can be useful. And then the last one just shows you your frame rate. Because it is hosted on a server, the max it's capped at is 60. So that is what we're looking at with that. That's the biggest, most helpful tool I've got available for you guys right here. That's always available front and center. There are a lot of other modules enabled that affect the game. So if there's something that you want to see happen with your characters, like, hey, I got the staff. How do I import my spells easily? We've got a module for that. So just if you have questions about making things easier, great. Let's try and see what we can do to make it easier. It's possible that there's already something available to do that. So, all right, General Foundry stuff. Should start off with, so on the right side is your, oh gosh, I forget what they call this window. But basically this is where all your interactions happen. So you've got on the top right corner, the speech bubbles, that takes you to your chat messages, which is what you automatically load into. For the most part, that's what you're going to be on. You'll find near the bottom, you can change your roles from public to private GM roles, which allows you and me to see it, but not the other players. There's blind GM roles, which only allows me to see it. And then there's self roles, which only you get to see them. So, that's that one. Once you build out your character, then you'll have access to the languages. Everybody has common by default, but when you build your characters, you'll have access to different languages. And so it'll limit you to those languages. When someone speaks using those languages, then if you're able to read that language, you'll see that language. And you'll also see the translation into our language, so that you can say, hey, I understand them, or I can understand what text I'm reading. Then you're able to translate it for the rest of the group without the rest of the group knowing what was presented, unless they also speak it. So that's a fun one. If you need to roll dice, there are dice along the bottom that allow you to roll those. If you want to add multiple dice to it, you just keep clicking. If you need to add some modifiers or subtract modifiers, you can do that as well. It's pretty straightforward and easy. If I pin a message, so I'm just going to pin Aaron's 3 there. You can click on that pin and it will pull up all the pinned messages. It doesn't matter how far it's rolled up. And then if I clear the chat log, that pinned message does not get deleted until I remove it from the pins. And so if there's important information and we want it pinned, we can pin it, and it's easy to access and find again. Great for spells that have long durations and stuff like that. Alright, so the next little bubble at the top right is encounters. This is only going to pop up when we get into an encounter. This is the encounter tracker. You'll be able to easily roll your initiative by clicking the D20 shadow that'll show up. And you just click that, it'll roll initiative. If you need to change your initiative from perception to stealth or something else, you can always do that on your character sheet. So speaking of character sheets, the next one is the little person bust. That is your actors. I see Baines and Aaron and Shane have already found this and created their actors. Yes, Aaron, I know who you are. You guys all have, I believe it's limited access to your fellow party members. To create a new actor, you just click on Create Actor there on the top, right below all the images. And you can name your character whatever you need to. If you don't name your actor initially what you want to name them, so if I go with party, and actually I was meaning to make a party one anyways, so this works perfect.
I actually can't look at the character, by the way. Just on the hop.
It's what?
I said I can't open up my character, just throwing that out there.
Interestingly enough, I'm not able to open any character sheets right now, which is weird.
Okay, so it's not just me. I couldn't get in there.
Interesting.
I am refreshing.
Yeah, I'm gonna try a refresh as well. But yeah,
It's broken.
right? Everything's broken.
No, really, it's broken.
Oh gosh, I love Foundry.
It's really good.
Yeah, I do love Foundry, but when something happens like this, usually it can be a pain. So like when you name your character sheet, if it's not the final name you're going to go with, you're also going to want to go into configure prototype token and rename your token. Otherwise, it's going to say Baines or the Great Mancini or Who Am I? And so that's an easy little thing for people to do and fix. So.
I can create actors. I can't see any of them though.
Interesting.
I may have edited my character file, but I can't get to it.
Okay. Let me check. Ooh, I've got a red one. Oh, interesting. An error occurred while rendering character sheet PF2E 158. Okay. I know exactly what's wrong. I've got a bad module. And so sometimes I won't realize that something's not working right, just like right now, unless you guys tell me. And so if I wasn't actually going through and saying, telling Foundry, hey, I want to make some adjustments or create this character and show you guys, I never would have known. So I need to disable a module. That is going to affect you guys because it is going to basically do a world refresh. Alright, is it effects actions? It doesn't say which one. Alright, well, we'll try this one. It is out of date anyways, unfortunately. Alright, so yeah, world reset because of modules. Unfortunately, if I do have to adjust modules, it does do a world reset, and that's why I try to wait for in between sessions to do modules. But it looks like we should be good now. Nope. Okay. Well, this is really bad because we need this to work. So, this is top of the list of getting it fixed. Oh gosh. Alright.
Those things are weird.
Alright. Let's try that one. Oh gosh. Actually, I know what I need to do. We'll see. Yeah, if if we weren't working on putting your characters in today, it wouldn't be a problem. But we need to get your characters in at some point between today and next week, or here in 2 weeks. So it's kind of important to get this one done for you.
So it's saying something about a character sheet actions.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to find out, which module is causing that. Yeah, the character exploration actions. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, same thing. Alright, this one's going to take a little more deep diving. Unfortunately, this is actually going to require a lot of reloads. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a module that's called Find the Culprit. If any of you are familiar with isolation tests, that's what it's doing. And so it'll take half of the enabled modules and say, and ask, hey, is this problem still persisting? Yes or no? Yes, yes or no. It enables or disables another half until you finally come across the problem.
Yeah, I just closed it for now.
Looks like 2 of you are able to access stuff.
Well, so I've got a hot bar here.
Oh, the hot bar. Yep.
I have a HUD, but I don't have a character sheet.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm going to reload the world again, and then we'll start the process of eliminating modules and. Oh, dang it. Yeah, and we'll go from there. The rest of the stuff. So there's a briefcase icon. That's where items are stored. Items is not a great name for it, because a lot of things fall under the category of item, such as spells and potion. There's just a lot of things that fall under it, so it's not a great name. But for the most part, you won't ever find anything in here, just because you can get everything through the compendium browser, which you can find at the bottom. It's a little magnifying glass with the compendium browser. And it makes it very easy to find whatever you might be looking for. Actions, equipment, feats and features, spells. The compendium browser is actually very useful and interesting. One thing that's available to me, not you, is bestiaries, so I can pull out different creatures. It is an incredibly powerful tool and very helpful. All right. Next one is journals. You guys should have access to 3 of them. You will find a folder for the Dirt Cross domain, Free Cities, and the Silkmoor Kingdom. The Dirt Cross domain and the Silkmoor Kingdom are 2 of the largest nations that we are going to be dealing with. The Free Cities is not really a nation as much as uh, group a group of cities that are free from any one nation's rule. We are going to be starting our campaign in one of those in one of those free cities. We are starting in Kamaluhaya. Oh, I butchered that one.
You tell us how it's pronounced.
Bro, it's your homebrew. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I also want to pronounce it correctly because it is an actual word, or it is from an actual language in our world. Kamaluhaya, if I'm not mistaken.
Ka Maluhia.
I was right the first time on accident. Julian knows why, or what that word means. Or at least
Actually, I don't. It's not. I have to Google it. It's
Oh.
I haven't even seen those words together before.
Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. Alright. Well, alright. But it's a language you're familiar with anyways. To some degree, I assume.
Vaguely, tangentially. Like, I guess in the same way that, like, if you're from the States, you might know a little bit of whatever Native American language is, like, present in your area. Like,
Yeah.
every school here, you take that studies class.
Okay.
So you learn a little bit of here and there.
Gotcha.
Not like I speak Hawaiian or anything, though.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, we're starting in Kamaluhaya, and the reason why I came up with this city's name being Hawaiian is actually because of one of my players, who is actually from New Zealand. I didn't want to go strictly New Zealand with their language because then that's just too on the nose. But I figured Hawaiian was a good close tie because it is a Pacific Islander. So, but this is, if you look at the Free Cities General Knowledge Journal, there is information about that city, and it is a good amount, I feel. And this is, if it's in the General Knowledge Journal, you guys do have access to it. Now, that information is for you, the players, to kind of get an idea of, oh, hey, my character would be from here. They would kind of know all this information. If your character is not from there, then it doesn't really make sense for your character to have all that knowledge. And so maybe have a lore check or something like that applicable, then that would make sense. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to give out some campaign specific lore things. So like you would know lore about the place you come from. You would have a basic knowledge of your nation. And so those are automatically lores I'm going to be giving you guys.
Cool.
And so you guys will start as trained in those. So that's the journals tab. The next tab you probably won't need ever, and that's the roll tables. Usually that's just for me. Though sometimes you'll have some spells that might be useful to have a roll table for, like confusion. but it's really hit and miss. With Pathfinder, I haven't really found too much need for a roll table. It's been pretty straightforward and good. Playlists is the music note. If you have to adjust the music volume for yourself, feel free to do so. Right now, I don't have any music playing through here, but when we do play the game, I will have music uploaded and playing. There will be music in the background for the loading page. I try to I make it so we don't have any music with words. Kind of have to because I do plan on streaming it. Tonight's session 0, I'm just recording it. This one is going to be posted to YouTube as unlisted, which means only people with the link can review it. Because session 0 is kind of boring and not fun to go over. So, and then the last two. The next one is the compendium packs. This one's pretty big and beefy. You can find all sorts of things in here, from class features to macros, journals. There's different things from modules. There's a lot of different things in here. You're welcome to look through it, explore it. Some things you won't need is like pre-generated characters. Yeah. That's all I can think of with that. And then finally, we get to game settings. The things that you can see. Let me see here. The things you're really going to use the most is configure settings and back to the forge. You can see what modules I have active by clicking the view active modules. I actually have quite a few modules enabled, which surprises me myself because I thought I ran a pretty light ship with Pathfinder. Turns out I don't.
You can blame.
I would blame you, but actually a lot of these I've come across on my own, so I don't.
I'm offering because I'm a ginger,
Yeah, a lot of these I've learned about and have loved from playing 5th edition on Foundry, and so they've kind of carried over with me. But yeah, looking at this right now, I'm actually going to say I'm probably going to add a few more modules that I know I have, but they're going to be modules that are like, oh, we have maps, we have music, we have... So, it's that kind of stuff that I'm going to actually be adding on, and so we'll end up with probably like 120 active modules. Just because it's, as the few of you who, or I actually think most of you, GM or DM, know, maps are a pain in the butt. But when you have the right map, it makes a game session much better. And so, we'll see what we do with that. So there's a quick tour of Foundry. I am going to go ahead and jump into trying to fix this module issue. So you're going to find that the world does a lot of this resetting and stuff like that.
Are you able to pull up the code console thing?
Yes. And it's not telling me specifically which one. It is just telling me action exploration sort is not a function. So like, let me go ahead and get a screenshot of it for you. But I could try Googling it, but I'm thinking that it's just going to be a lot faster to do this. Alright, so I'm going to see here. Any others that I have to keep? Socket Lib. There we go. So yeah, um, yeah. Sometimes we just have to fiddle around. I mean, that's one problem with a modular system is sometimes you come across errors, and you gotta fix them. All modules except the chosen ones are deactivated. All right, so let's see here.
There is a
Does your
function within one actions exploration, I want to say it was, or something like that. That there's a checkbox you can click to let you align where the actions go.
actions exploration? Okay.
But it's a specific setting.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Because the module works, but that setting apparently is gone. Also, for myself, I'm not too big of a fan of the HUD. Do you have a way to get that
Oh.
out?
Okay. The HUD. Let's see here.
If I'm stuck with it, cool, I'll just tuck it in a corner.
What aspect of the HUD is the issue?
All of it.
All of it. Okay. Um,
Like other people would probably find it useful. It's just not for me.
oh, the character action HUD.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one should be. Let's see here. Yes. So if you go into the token action HUD core, you can disable the HUD.
Cool.
Alright, narrowing it down to which module. We did hook it onto what it was, so. Sweet. Oh sweet, it's not forcing you guys to do all these reloads like I am. That's good.
I mean, it will eventually.
Well, not this many. Okay, I know which module it is. Or at least I assume it is.
Hey, I got my little HUD bar back.
Which HUD
And I
bar?
can click sub. My hotbar.
Oh,
Oh, you know
it's
what?
showing up now? Nice.
Yeah. It's because that little Windows thing that you had kicking in. That one's turned off.
Oh, so if you refresh, it's only... Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it looks like standard now.
Alright, let's see here. Alright. Alright, I found out which module it is I need to make changes on, so. Oh yeah, it looks like if you refreshed, you got what I was currently working with. So yeah, if you refresh it now, you'll find that all the modules are re-enabled. Alright, so I'm going to make a quick fix to this and try and bring it back so we can use character sheets. Interestingly enough, I actually have to go in and disable that for this character sheet as well. One thing I'm going to ask you guys is token-wise. We can do the top-down tokens, or we can do face tokens. Example of face tokens. These are some that I've made for some of my Curse of Strahd players. I posted those in the WS chat. I like the look of them popping out of the token themselves. I think it makes it a little more dynamic. But we can always do a top down or something else. It's always up to you guys. So.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I still can't get a character sheet.
Yes, I know. I've got to change that setting
Oh.
now. I found out which one,
Oh, I see.
and now I've got to make the change.
I thought you said once we reloaded, we would see it. I see.
Disable. Alright. Alright, I'm going to try reloading to see if I can activate it, see if I got the module set correctly. I think I corrected the setting itself. We'll see.
You know that tomorrow, like, you're gonna have to redo all of your modules, right?
Why?
So on the Paizo forums, they're talking about Foundry is going to be releasing the remastered version, basically.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, so like a lot of the settings are getting updated. They're just waiting for Rage of the Elements to be released because that's where it kind of starts.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it's all going to go bonkers. Some of them are already doing it. If you look at some of the modules, like for example, if you go to the compendium and look at armor, it no longer has strength values. It has modifier values for what you need to have in order to not take penalties.
Oh, interesting.
They've already kind of started.
Okay. Good to know. Actions exploration sort is not a function. I narrowed it down to PF2E workbench. Let's see here. I was hoping changing those settings would cause something. And disabling those did not help.
I'm pulling up one of my rolls to see if I'm getting the same thing.
Okay. Sorry about this, guys. Sometimes modules change and then they cause problems.
So in the meantime, what's everybody playing?
Playing, you said?
Yeah, like for party composition.
Yeah, who wants to go first?
My only thing is let's do a balanced party if we possibly can.
Yep. Okay, how about this? Does anybody not have a character in mind?
I don't have a specific character in mind.
Or whoever that was, it was pretty quiet. I couldn't hear you.
I do not have a specific character in mind.
Is there anything that people like to play?
like to play wizards or clerics.
Julian, you like wizards and clerics?
I've got a character made already. I would like to try a Thaumaturge, I think.
Ooh. Who was that?
That was Shane.
Shane. Thaumaturge is really cool.
Yeah, they seem really interesting.
Mike, have you played, or is it Michael?
Mike's fine.
Okay, Mike. Have you played RPGs before? Yeah.
Yeah, I've played some 5e.
What have you liked from there?
You know, it's similar to me not really knowing how I am as a player. I've been running my games for so much longer than I was a player. It's like, oh well, I'm the monsters.
Oh, yeah, okay. I totally get what you're saying though. Like, I like to wait until people have decided what they like to play just in case, so I can fill a hole. That's not awkward. Fill a role. That's the right word.
I will say I'm not because I'm not familiar with this game, and full disclosure, I'm pretty basic. I feel like I want to play a martial of some sort. I believe in the
You,
power of stab and punch.
you cannot go wrong with Fighter. They're the most OP class in the entirety of Pathfinder.
Yeah, I am currently unsure if I want to do maybe a fighter or be a monk with cleric archetype. It's unclear to me.
I would suggest monk. In my opinion, they're way more fun than the fighter. I've played a couple of them now. There's so many different flavors.
So if we have a melee basher, thaumaturge, and striker, a wizard or cleric, we would need skills person.
Yeah, skill
I
monkey.
think the thaumaturge can fill.
I don't know. I can't remember how many I get. Not bad.
You guys are a good face. Did you mean stats?
Yeah.
Correct? So we
Yeah,
need like
taking.
a
We need like a rogue or an investigator or something.
yeah. Or bard.
An inventor could also fill the role.
Oh, yeah.
A weapon?
Inventor.
Oh yeah.
They,
Did you want to play?
well, I'm waiting to see what everyone else does. I want to make sure we're a little bit balanced.
Really just down to the two of us and Julian deciding between wizard and cleric?
I'm
Or
definitely
maybe
leaning
both.
towards wizard if that helps. But again, I like both. So
Initially, I intended to play a oracle, but a basher oracle, like tanky oracle.
Interesting.
Um, go for it. I can be the inventor, and you don't have to worry.
We would not have a clear healer, so that's the only thing we need to figure out.
And then was there a new class coming out for Pathfinder tomorrow?
Yes, kineticist. That's the one I'm most excited to check out.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
Because it is coming out tomorrow, I will allow that. It might not be populated ready right off the bat. But then again, like I said, usually the game world or the game developers and the um, or the community that's in charge of the Pathfinder game system work really closely and well together. So it's usually the next day or two. Um, and so we can probably expect that to be ready pretty quickly. So, Yeah.
That's really fast.
Oh yeah, they are very efficient at getting that content available. Because Pathfinder's free to play.
It's pretty great.
that's the love of it, is like it. You could seriously play this game for free.
I do love that. It's so good that you can just get any rules anywhere you want.
Yeah. Um,
All just works.
yep. All right.
So looking at this map that was posted, I believe you said city we're starting out in is northwesterly.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking in the right spot.
Yes. So Oh, interesting. The world map did not come out correctly. Well, that's disappointing. So there's some mountains missing. um, but the city you will be.
Intentionally or
No.
I don't see anything in the world map.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably loading still.
It said that I have no tokens that have any vision
Oh.
in the map.
Well, that's a good one to call out too. I can fix that. Token vision disabled. All right.
There we go.
Now you should be able to see. All right. So the region we're mostly working with, I'm just going to draw, is going to be up here in this circle. The city we're going to be working out of is right here. Kamaluhaya. The Silkmore Kingdom is here on the left of the mountains. The mountains are the Grey Rise. Everyone would know that one. And then the Dirt Cross Domain is the right side of the mountains. There is plenty more to the world. Depending on where you're from, you might know a little bit more or less about the parts of the world. Unfortunately, I didn't get the map imported until we got going today. It's been a little busy, as I found that I am missing part of my mountains, which does not make me happy. So I'm re-downloading the map from Incarnate right now, and I will re-upload it. Export image. Yeah, we'll go there. Oh, that's why. Alright. So now I can upload it again, and we can go from there. This is fun, finding all these different problems.
What session 0 is for.
Exactly. I'd rather it be now instead of session 1. But, yep. Some general knowledge that you guys would all have. Silkmore Kingdom on the left side, Dirt Cross Domain on the right, and then the city you guys are working at, or going to be starting out in, is Kamaluhaya. It is one of the free cities. There are many. Some are less known than others. There are several nations here. There's the Hot Enclave, Bone Mirror Empire, the League of Madbell, and the... I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. The Eagle Shade Empire. Let me see. I've got my maps. Nope, I need that folder.
Sean, I found it.
You found what?
I found the thing. It's making air.
Oh, excellent. The White Word Union. Yep, those are the different nations I've got. Alright.
it is workbench, and it's a
Oh,
specific setting of workbench.
okay.
It's like the bottom.
Oh, not controls. I need settings. Oh, because I'm still working on fixing it. That's why it's being stubborn. Okay. Awesome.
All right, so Bane says he will do a healer.
What kind of healer? Martial
Uh,
or magical?
Marshall, Marshall healer.
Very nice.
We were talking about the Smitey cleric.
The Smitey Cleric. That's always a fun.
Smitey cleric.
That's a fun one. All right. Actually, for today, this would be a good one to pull in. Let's pull that map in. For today, I'm going to actually pull in an old map of the world. So I'm going to change the world map to a different image. Oh yeah, that's right. So let's see here. So map's going to reload. Alright, should have a different map now. Yep, now it should have all of the names. Because all the names are part of the map, if you zoom in, they kind of get blurry, which I plan on fixing with the new map. So, but yeah, if you the basic information you guys would know: Silkmore Kingdom, you're going to find more of the common races: dwarf, elf, human, gnome, halfling, goblin. Kings Hill Harbor is kind of the capital. It is ran by a monarch, the Red Queen. You don't find uncommon races amongst the kingdom too often. Some idiot humans named South Shore as the northernmost city and North Shore as one that's not the most north. Silly humans. Starhorn is a farming community largely ran by halflings. Milgard is was once a mill settlement that has vastly grown due to Silkmore's strong navy and the strong forest that is around it. Yolgrim is a mining city largely populated by the dwarves. Yukon, also a dwarven city, though its main focus is trades. Ollie Mel, I had fun with that one because I've got the Ollie and the Mel rivers to make Lake Ollamel, and that leads into the river Lemilo, which leads out to Golgari, which is a city that focuses on healing and the health of the nation. Finn Alari and Meothalis are largely populated by the elves, and they have strong naval bases because of the League of Mad Bell and the Bone Mirror Empire. The League of Mad Bell is kind of like a pirate nation. The Bone Mirror Empire has been an aggressive, conquering nation, though it has calmed down in the last 100 years or so. thanks to the Red Queen. It's back to saying that character sheet actions are sorted. Oh, sorry, I never got around to that. I just went into the world lore stuff.
Yeah, you were being a DM. Total nerd.
Yeah, because like I have not ran too many games in this world. I have ran some. You will see that there is an arrow icon in the Hot Enclave nation. That is for a journal I used to have for uh, Ascension Gate, which is part of the main religion in the Silkmore Kingdom that is has reached out to most of the Western Hemisphere, so the Dirt Cross Domain, League of Mad Bill, and the Bone Mirror Empire, where they they worship the Eternal One, basically believing that they can ascend into a better being or a better self. And the only ones that ever leave the island are Asimars. Very well, very rarely does one person go and come back. Very, very rarely. And the only way to get to the Hot Enclave is by invitation only. Let's see here. Why am I not finding that setting? Workbench. Oh, because I didn't scroll down. Alright, so sort action by name, okay. And disabled. Okay. Save. Alright, let's try a refresh, see if that allows us to do what we need to do. The Grey Rays, very massive mountains, natural barrier between the Silkmore Kingdom and the Dirt Cross Domain. Kamaluhaya is kind of that peace point, or peace treaty area, where they can come and have peaceful talks. Alright, now we can access character sheets. Woohoo! The Dirt Cross Domain, it's very much a high desert. Aaron and Baines, you kind of saw the kind of environment I live in. It's very similar to that, where it is arid and dry, but you still can do a lot of farming. You're just not going to have a lot of trees. You're not going to have a lot of greenery. And so its economics relies on trade, and it relies on the mining and the fishing that it can have or can do. And so at the same time, most of or Malhaven and Stillwater are kind of a mix of how the housing is. Malhaven has a lot of tent homes and pop-up kind of markets. Stillwater is a lot closer to the mountains, so they do have access to a lot more materials. So there's a lot more stick-built and mud and brick homes than there is in Malhaven. And then Iron Keep is just straight up a fortress, very hard to enter into, and that is largely because they are on the Hamcourt Bay, where they're close to the Silkmore Kingdoms, Finalari, and the League of Mad Bell. Which League of Mad Bell, as I said, is a pirate nation, and so raiding is a huge problem for the Iron Keep.
I see.
What's up?
No, just commenting as you go along.
Oh, okay. Um, in the Dirt Cross domain, there are wandering tribes that move about. Um, there are mine camps, which are going to be up against the mountain with that use the river to export their goods to Stillwater, then to Mallhaven, and eventually out to the world. The majority of those mine camps are actually going to be excavating gems for the most part, though some of them do find metals. Though most of the metals are actually extracted on the other side of the mountains with the Silkmore Kingdom. Then there are a few mill settlements, nothing too big. Now, if you look at the Iron Keep, there's actually a big area of green forest. It's actually protected by magical beings that have, for the most part, kept people out of there, or other beings out of it. Um, so, even though it would be a great resource for the Dirt Cross domain, it is so defended that it makes it very difficult to utilize the force. Um, one of the big things, and it's going to be a huge part of this campaign, is the fact that the Dirt Cross domain does partake in slavery. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to go and intentionally grab civilians from another nation or from a free city like Nightthorn and bring them over and auction them off. No, they do have laws against that. But the slavery is intended for the purpose of, hey, you owe this debt, and if you can't pay it off, you can go ahead and uh, go into servitude to a well-off individual, and they can pay off your debt, and now you just work it off for them. So
I see.
So it's a way to basically transfer your debt off and not have to deal with the after effects as bad. So, um, oh, very good. They updated this. So one thing that one module I have enabled that you guys won't really notice too often is the hero point handler, where I'm going to try this. It should add a hero point to everybody. Yay! It did. So everybody should have 2 hero points at this point. Yep, looks like it. So that's great. So that's one way that hero points will happen is every hour, just like normal. So you don't have to roll nat 20, but you can. So, is there, yeah, is there any questions you guys would like to ask about where your character might be from, just based off of like ancestry?
Yeah, halfling.
Halfling. Halfling, I would definitely say the Silkmore Kingdom is more likely where you would find a halfling, especially around Starhorn. Though a halfling could be found throughout any part of the Silkmore Kingdom. There are a few extra settlements within the Silkmore Kingdom that are not placed. And so if you open up the general knowledge journal for the Silkmore Kingdom, you can either choose a settlement, and we can then place it on the map and go from there. Or you can choose to come from a large city. Like I said, you're going to end up with lore about the nation you come from, and the either city or settlement as well. So.
Question. I apologize if you've already mentioned this, but you know, with the demographics are of Dirt Cross, like generally?
Dirt Cross is a large mix of the uncommon ancestries for the most part. Um, it's actually interesting because in the Dirt Cross domain, the uncommon race ancestries are common, and then the common ancestries are uncommon, if that makes sense.
Does on the map it kind of looks like their cross is more arid and like
Yes.
deserty. Like, how would that work for like a Leshy?
Um, it would still,
This is
yeah, you can still do a Leshy. It could be like a cactus type, um, uh, or yeah, there's a lot of different plant lives that you can find in arid environments. And so a Leshy is still definitely applicable. It could even be that your Leshy comes from the forest across from the Iron Keep, and that is definitely something that is feasible with this nation. Let's see. So like in that case, I would choose kind of like your origin to be that magical forest. Uh, where uh, and that is the Verminy Wilds. Um, let me see here. I don't have too much knowledge or too much written about the Verminy Wilds, um, but I'm gonna put it in bold. That way we can find information or find that in the Iron Keep entry on the general knowledge for Dirt Cross domain. That one you would find more of those jungle or forest type plants.
So just like out of curiosity, this is not a lore question, but you seem very liberal with the hero points.
Yeah, I like I really like the use of the hero points. And with 5th edition, how they did inspiration, I thought it was good. It was just very lackluster because it never got used. And so I wanted something to be used pretty consistent. And so that's why I like
So
the hey, you roll a natural 20, you get another hero point, which I did steal from the one D&D playtest rules. Um, it just makes it more often, and the more often you have hero points, the more often you're going to use them. So
okay. Yeah.
So where would just a human be
uh,
from?
human being, mostly from the Silkmore Kingdom. You will find that you'll find them in every city in the Silkmore Kingdom, every settlement, basically, most of the settlements. Um, you can find humans in Kamaluhaya. You can find them in the Dirt Crust domain. You can even find them in other free cities. The ones that I have named on the west side are the ones I would recommend. So, oh, white's not a good color on that ice cap. um, but pretty much any city in this heart shape, you would pretty much find them in.
Be particularly plagued with, I don't know, like wounded soldiers, vagrants, or anything where
Um,
um, goody two shoes would go to try and change things.
I missed the last part.
Anywhere a goody two shoes would go to try and change things.
Oh. I know Wounded Soldier, you're most likely going to get those types out of Meothalis, Fenelari, or Iron Keep. Just because those 3 cities face the most confrontation. Goody Two Shoe who wants to fix things. Um, honestly, you can get that type of individual from almost any upbringing. Um, it just depends on how their backstory plays out. Um, could be that they feel they were wronged by their nation or by their uh, local rulers or something like that. So that one you can really play with. Um, and I know I'm not giving you a great answer on it, but that's the case. Um,
No, it's all good. I got a pretty good idea. I've had my this cleric kind of built up for a minute, so I'm just making tweaks to him. I'm trying to upload artwork, but it's not working very well.
oh dang.
Okay, other question.
Yeah.
We have like 2 weeks here, so
Yes.
no rush or anything. But is the intent that we're already supposed to be party already formed when we start off?
Yes. So the intention is that you guys are aware of each other and are kind of a group already. Um, so, however you guys want to tie your backstories together would something that's cohesive would be encouraged. It might even be that you guys are coming from your nation to meet the other half of the party from the other nation to discuss some sort of agreement, either a trade agreement or something. Uh, gosh, that kind of doesn't work right, does it? How are we tying the group together where you guys would be meeting at a tavern? Yes, I know, cliche. Um, how do we tie you guys together so you're meeting at a tavern and have knowledge of each other already, and know that you guys are, you know, at least capable at fighting and defending and working together.
I mean, I don't mind a little bit of hand waving action. I'm a big fan of the hand wave, but I guess I'm just wondering if my starting point is like I need a reason to be in this city in particular, and I'm gonna meet some people, or we're just gonna kind of scooch past that and be like, I have met some people.
Yeah.
I've met 4 other people.
I guess, does the party know each other, or are we meeting?
Exactly. That is a good question. That's the question I think we're trying to resolve right now is, are you guys meeting for the first time, or do you guys know each other? Um, if you
So I'm
got
choosing a back alley doctor cleric who just is trying to heal people regardless of what's going on. So I could have treated everybody at one point or another, which would explain coming together and having fighting knowledge, if that makes it convenient.
there is that option. And as a human, he could travel around quite easily between the nations. Um, and so, like, in that case, with how Baines is setting up his character to have, like, traveled and treated injuries, instead of giving Baines' character a specific lore of, like, a settlement or a city, I might instead say, explore, or give him a lore for just general knowledge of like visiting places, but it not being able to like upgrade from trained to expert. Or well, that would still be able to happen, um, but yeah, do something like that where maybe it instead of it being a specific knowledge lore, it would be a unspecified lore. If you think about like how um, recall knowledge checks work with monsters, because you can do your proficiencies like a nature check, or you can do a unspecific lore or specific lore. And so if it was an unspecific lore, it's not as great as a specific, but it would be still very much better than the uh, general proficiency of exploration.
Yeah, so just I'll add exploration lore.
Um, I would do traveler's lore, if that makes sense.
Oh no, it totally does.
Okay.
And then that would also, that could apply for a lot of things because I'm good at traveling around and finding people to treat. I could dig
Yeah.
up information.
Exactly. Like in that case, you're gonna be able to like pull out little tidbits of knowledge of pretty much anywhere you go, assuming you roll well.
Well, I chose Spectrum for the dice again, so we all know how that plays out.
Oh gosh, dang it! I need to disable that one. Too bad. I think it's on by default.
Well, it's the best looking one.
um, but yeah, wherever you guys choose to come from, I am happy to work with you on what kind of knowledge you have and what kind of lores you start off with.
Cool.
I do know that there is an ancestral feat for your ancestry lore. Uh, for campaign feat, I'm automatically applying that one to you guys, so don't take that one. And so I will do that at another time because I don't need you guys to. Well, I need to wait until you guys choose your ancestries before I do that. So.
I paused my Oracle Dude that I was building previously, just in case the kineticist does not work out.
Okay, that's fair. Um, let's see here. Oh, I wanted this one. Core icons.
Oh shit!
512, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, it's already in.
Oh, is the
That's
kineticist already in?
I'm about to check because I just did an update, and then the changelog said that Rage of Elements is in.
Ooh, very nice. One thing you guys should be able to see is the party token. Basically, I'm going to. Ooh, I'm going to have to change that. That image is not going to be very helpful. We're going to go with the standard. Basically, the party token is going to be used just to let you guys know where you're at in the world. Um, so that's all that does. Um, it's a token. That's all it's for. Just a marker on the map. Um, I am going to create a folder. That way I can keep all you guys in there. Oh, no. That I'm going to create another one. Inactive. If you guys are going to have a companion of some sort, either familiar, animal, eidolon, whatever it might be, just let me know because there are some modules that make it very easy to work with those.
Oh shit!
Uh,
It's in.
yeah. I don't know what else to bring up. Oh, yeah. Campaign. I am not pulling it up on that window because I don't want you guys to see it all. I don't need you guys to be able to come back through, watch the video, listen to it, and be able to see everything about the campaign. Because it's all my campaign notes that I'm going to be pulling up right now. Let's see here.
Oh, I don't know if you know, but you haven't been streaming since you disconnected a while ago.
Yes, so I stopped streaming my screen, but I am recording the session, and I'm going to upload it so you guys can review it later if you so choose to for some reason, or if we get another player that joins.
Gotcha.
Obviously, I don't plan on another player at the moment because we do have a good full 5 players. That's where I like to start off. So, let's see here. So the campaign is going to start off with a mystery where we're going to be kind of going through figuring out what's going on, and that's going to start in the city of Kamaluhaya. From there, we are going to be visiting somewhere else. That's going to happen around levels about level 3 or 4. You guys can expect to be leaving the city and going off to a different place to continue the path of this investigation. From there, we're going to be spending a little bit of time in that nation trying to take care of the problem, trying to gain some resources, gain some allies, make connections, and it'll at that point there's definitely going to be a lot of openness to what you guys can do. Granted, there is going to be a lot of sandbox to this, where I am going to throw out a number of quests. Though in the beginning, I'm going to keep it pretty limited to what I present, just because it can be overwhelming to receive too many quests. So yeah, in the beginning, it's going to be like, hey, will you do this? And then someone else will come up and present another thing for you to do as well. It might be that some of these have time limits, some of them might not. It's up to you to decide how you need to interact with the world and handle things. For this first chapter, I'm doing the air quote thing of chapter. I've thought about 6 different solutions to one issue, and I expect you guys are probably going to take a 7th. my my philosophy as a GM is prepare for 2 to 3 solutions, or prepare for 2 to 3 problems that they're going to address, or how they're going to address it. But be ready, because they're going to find another one that you aren't ready for, and be ready to go with it. And so I'm not going to try to railroad you into doing things. If you guys say, "Oh, well, tough luck, we're going to go take care of something else," well, I guess that's the way we're going. Now, granted that this is the campaign I have planned, it might be that this something else you guys decide to do is somehow tied into that initial problem in a different way, because there are multiple aspects to this mystery. And so, yeah.
Love that.
Um,
So Sean, if you update the Pathfinder version, it will add Kenosis in.
very good to know. Let me go ahead and update my modules then. And then I'm going to have to stop the server and restart the server for it to take effect. So we will see that happen here shortly. Oh, I bet you I know why. I know why the game or the game system has it. It's after midnight on the East Coast.
You're right.
Makes sense.
So the PDF files are available. Okay. Update selection. All right, here we go. So those are updating. Let's see here. I want to see here. All right. Manage configure settings. Oh, that's what that one is. Okay. I thought there was something about.
Edition.
So yeah, there are multiple ways to approach this mystery. Um, I I'm going to. I have one massive hook to take you down one path. However, there is other aspects that you can find, and if that's more interesting to you than what I initially throw out there for you guys, we definitely can go down that path. Um, I yeah, I was gonna say I don't know exactly what I've got planned for it, but that's a lie. I do know I've actually had it planned many months now, and so um, but yeah, all that every aspect to this campaign is kind of intertwined, and it's going to be a fun mystery. I feel it is. Um, but of course, I think that because I designed it. um, so lately, I've been running a lot of Curse of Strahd, and so a lot of my inspiration has kind of come from the darker kind of game settings. But because of how dark and dreary and just heavy Curse of Strahd can be, I've been trying to pull away from that, get into something a little lighter um, and more enjoyable. And so I'm not really looking to make it dark and heavy like Curse of Strahd can be. Um, uh, yeah, the I think all three of my campaigns that I have planned for the Banished World is they're all three of them are a lot more lightweight, a lot more open, and they're just a lot cheerier than what I was dealing with Curse of Strahd, where it's like, hey, you're in this land that you don't know how you got here, but nobody really wants to help you kind of situation. No, this is a hey, you're going to find collaboration. You're also going to find reluctance. You're going to find people that are going to probably betray you, backstab you, if you don't treat them right. It's going to be a world that's dynamic and fluid and fluctuating. Um, the fun thing is the 3 campaigns I have planned out all tie in together in some way that, while not immediately noticeable, um, once all 3 campaigns are mostly gone through, um, and if players are aware of what's happening in the other ones, uh, they will begin to actually notice the impact of the other campaign, which I think is really awesome.
Is anyone here in the other campaigns in the setting?
I have not even started the other campaigns.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got one group. My group that is playing Curse of Strahd, they are going to be running the Silkmoor Kingdom campaign, and that group's already determined and filled, unless somebody drops out. And then the other campaign I had is the Eagleshade Empire, which is to the far far east of the screen, and that is a nation that is all rare ancestries. Uh, there is no humans, there's no dwarves, elves, none of your common ancestries are over there. It is purely just the rare ancestries. And so that's going to be my 3rd campaign. Um, and so, yeah, I've got 3 different campaigns planned out that have interactions with each other and are of the similar timeline. But timeline-wise, this campaign comes first, and then the other 2 campaigns are kind of simultaneous.
Pretty ambitious.
Though this campaign is probably, I want to say, 3 years before the other 2. Oh, one thing I don't know if that made it into any of my documents. Leveling up. It doesn't look like it did. Oh, let me go ahead and put this in here. Leveling up is going to happen with downtime. And so when you guys take a week of downtime, you guys will then level up. So let's see here. Okay. So yeah, you guys will be able to pull out, or once you get your experience points needed at 1,000, you guys will be able to then spend a week of downtime. And Pathfinder has great downtime rules that I would like to explore and use because, like I said, this is my first campaign with Pathfinder, and so spending that time to really dig into your characters or to dig into what you guys are trying to discover or do, that is a great time to do it. Now, does that mean you have to take just 1 week? No. You guys as a group can decide how long you want to take. Minimally, I'm looking at a week. So there's that. Now, if you guys want to stockpile experience points and say, hey, I'm not looking to level up just yet, we're going to keep going, and you end up with 2,000 experience points, and then you guys take 2 weeks of downtime, you can do both level ups right there. Is it recommended? Probably not. But you can do it if you wanted to. If someone's character dies, they're just going to come back at the same level, same experience points. just to make it easier for that player, and it because it's not fair to come in and start at a lower level or with no
Level one
experience
with a
points. I mean, we could do that. I mean, we could start with you coming in with not the same amount of experience points as everyone, but when you guys get experience, it would be that the person with the least amount of experience points would then get a little more of that experience than the rest of the group. So like it would be divided a little differently. Um, so like if an encounter was worth 100 experience points normally, it might be that for the players that are the full level of the group would get 90 experience points, and the one character that's not would get 140 because the rest of everybody basically gave them that 10% or yeah, a 10% increase from theirs. We could do it that way. I'd rather not because it's a lot of math. Um, yeah.
I do have two questions.
Go for it.
One is to circle back to. This is my first time on the Forge website, and I feel like this was addressed an hour ago, and I was not all the way tuned in to the solution. So I have two icons on the lower left of my screen. The macro directory and another arrow that points up. I'm not sure what it does, and I can't really select them because the taskbar comes up.
Yeah. So one is the macro directory, and then the other one is like the group of half human busts, right?
I actually just see an arrow that I assume opens the menu. See an icon of a folder, the macro directory, and an arrow that points down. And there is the icon of the three human busts, but that just comes up with taskbar, and I can select it fine.
Would you mind taking a screenshot for me? Yeah, that's probably going to be the easiest way for me to see what it is that you're looking at.
For sure.
But yeah, I'm glad you bring it up because it might be that someone else is seeing the same thing, but it's just not bothering them, I want to say. Um, I I just don't know because I can't see your guys' screens. So,
What are we talking about?
um, Mike is seeing something that's interrupting them getting access to the hotbar, and or they're trying to access the hotbar, but they can't because of the taskbar, which I can make that
Yeah.
actually affect everybody the way you guys like to.
Can we have the taskbar on the left, maybe? No, because that's got the top would be good.
Right? That would be nice. I
We
would,
don't use an application.
yeah. I wish they had that option. Actually, do they have that option? It might be that that is a option on newer versions of it, but I'd have to check to see how much their modules cost because that's a premium module that I got a free copy of at that moment of history. So I don't have it constantly getting updated. Who are you? I know. Let's see here. Where'd you go? Yeah, I want to know more about that. Okay. All right.
Okay, I'm about to post these for the really long time.
All right. No worries.
Should I in the chat?
Yeah, you can either post them in the chat or DM them to me. Either one works great. Let's see here. All right, so I'm looking at it. It looks like you're trying to access what? The bottom left corner?
Yeah, and you see in the second screenshot, the taskbar is up, and I can't choose it anymore.
Okay, so that's what you're trying to get to. Okay, I know exactly what to change there. If everybody wants to make it accessible, I can do that. Let's just do it this way. Oh gosh. No, I'm not gonna do it that way. I'm gonna do it this way. Okay. The nice thing is I have a module that enables it so I can help change settings within the configure settings. So that if I find the setting for you guys, I can change it for you guys. Alright. And change it back to me. Save changes. Alright, now if you refresh your world, you should be able to access that macro hotbar. What I should have.
Refresh.
Yeah. Yeah, so an F5 works, or if you go into that D20 icon, the swirling arrows will also refresh Foundry for you. Oh, interesting. Um, Aaron, you might be able to access the new content if you refresh.
Yeah. I was looking at it in one of my worlds.
Yeah, I think you might be able to access it in this world, even though I haven't stopped the server and restarted it.
Currently, I cannot. Oh, there it is. That's loading.
But if for some reason it does not, then we'll just... Yeah, it didn't. I'm going to go ahead and... If you're working on your character, I recommend you go ahead and get to a good stopping point. I'm going to stop the world and restart the server. And I'm going to do that here in a few seconds. So
You don't have to do that tonight, unless you really want to, because I got to read through it.
okay. Yeah, if you're all right, if you're going to do it on your world that you're reading right now, I'll wait. And I'll just restart the server after tonight. So, I wonder. I want the taskbar. Where'd you go? Start button, sidebar, quick items, quick macros, player button, tray icons, workspace, toggle.
Taskbar is still coming up
Okay.
and in my way.
Oh, it's still coming up in the way? Aaron, when I fixed it for you, did it work to where the
You
hotbar?
didn't.
Oh, it didn't work?
Nope.
Oh, so you still can't access that. Okay.
Yeah, it actually made my hotbar disappear.
Oh, the hotbar disappeared. Oh gosh. Yeah, because the macro bar is supposed to move with it. Um, me see here. Enabled player. You know what? I can just disable the taskbar for you guys, and then you guys don't have to worry about it. It'll just be out of the way, and I think that's going to be the best solution for it. So let me go ahead and disable it. Let me see how it looks for you guys, if you guys like it or not. So go ahead and try refreshing and see how it goes. Like I said, Foundry is very modular, so things can be changed, moved, adjusted, however we need to. Oh, that's that one. Where did that go? I wonder. 2E. Yeah. So I'm gonna play around with some of this module stuff. Because like there's some things I do want, if I can get it to work. I think this actually might work. I'm gonna try it.
Now I can access the macro directory. Taskbar is not coming up.
Yeah,
I disabled it.
Yep, I disabled the
I don't-
taskbar, so you should be able to access that macro directory like that now.
I don't know if the taskbar is going to be super important. I don't have the experience to have an opinion.
No worries, because like I said, some people like it, like certain modules, some people don't. To me, I've noticed that the taskbar is the one that is the most hit and miss, where some people absolutely hate it, some people absolutely love it. So, um, it's one of those modules that if you guys don't like it, the nice thing is I can disable it for the players and keep it open for myself. I find it for myself because I have to have so many windows open. It's very nice for me to have. But for you guys, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have because usually all you need is your character sheet. So.
That makes sense. My second question is, it's also, this one's kind of not important because I'm not much of a shopper. But so in 5e, prices of things, it's very loosey goosey. And like when I'm like behind the screen when I'm doing it, I'll be like, okay, well, I'll look at how much money they have, and I'll be like, well, what do I want them to be able to buy? And I kind of price things that way. And I don't know if structurally, I get the impression that things are different in Pathfinder.
Yes, Pathfinder is very much different. Almost everything is already priced out. Every item has a rarity, ranging from common to rare. I think there might even be some that are special, which is even more rare than rare. And then almost everything has a price. So the nice thing is it takes the guesswork off of me.
Okay.
And it also makes it so you guys can go through like the compendium browser and go to the items and say, or go to the equipment and say, I want this type of armor up to level 1, because that's what you guys can acquire at this point, and say, I don't want to spend more than 5 gold pieces. And then it'll show you all your options. And I mean, you can even still filter it more. There's armor filters, there's source filters, rarities. There's tons of things you can filter by. Like I've said, they've done a great job on this. If you go through your character sheet, let's see here. Actually, I should just quickly do this. Oh, perfect. Someone's already got started on equipment. I'm just going to add the 15 gold, add coins. That's what you've got for starting with. Right now the world page is active. Let me do this. Configure. Nope, not that. Actually, yeah, it was under configure. Everybody should have access to the world map at all times. And then I'm going to create a landing page. Right now, I'm going to use the Foundry Virtual Tabletop page as a quote-unquote landing page. On the top of your screen, there's a up arrow that's pointing up. If you click on that, it'll drop down and show you the different scenes you can access. And so if you want to go to a different scene, you can. I'm going to drop down your player character tokens. Oh, just right on top of each other. Okay. Obviously right now, because not everybody has art, it can get a little confusing on whose is whose with the Mystery Man tokens. But if you hover over it, it'll tell you if it's yours. That way you can have your token selected, and then when you're in the item browser of the compendium, you can click on the coins, and then you can just purchase the item, and it'll show up in your inventory and take away the corresponding currency.
Hey, Sean, do you need me any further?
I do not, unless you want to help out with anything, but I don't think so. Do you have any
I'll have him come in here and help me with my character building.
Okay. Unless you have any problems with any other modules, Aaron, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, at this point, guys, if you're good with where we're at, you're welcome to drop. Tonight was kind of an informal, hey, let's sit down, let's learn a little bit about the world, come to an understanding of what the campaign's going to be like, what the rules are going to be like, and just get ready for the game. I know I did a lot of talking. I don't plan to do this much talking normally. I plan on letting you guys really drive the campaign. So.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Thanks, man.
Sweet.
Bye.
See you, Aaron.
Great.
I'm just gonna try and brainstorm some characters and attempt to make some level 1 sheets.
Okay.
Then hopefully pick one.
Yeah, sounds good. A wonderful tool is Path Builder. It's a great resource to use, in my opinion. It definitely, well, I would do it once you've settled on what kind of character you want, and then it's great because it allows you to kind of build them out to level 20 as a plan. And it, of course, it doesn't lock you in, but you can easily then just copy that JSON number and paste it in, and your character information is already imported. So, but yeah, it depends on what you want to do. I'm not going to pressure you into doing something one way or another. So,
Okay.
as you guys kind of decide where you want your characters to be from, let me know. That way we can get that kind of lore built in, kind of work on building a backstory. I'm not looking for a 10-page backstory. I'm just looking for a few key points. That way we can kind of really tie your character into this world and kind of invest into it. I know for my Curse of Strahd... Oh, go for it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, for my Curse of Strahd players, that's one of the biggest gripes about that campaign. Not just with my players, but with all players with Curse of Strahd, is like, all right, you start off in one place, now you're pulled into a different place. Your backstory has very little relevance to Curse of Strahd, and so it's kind of tough for a lot of people. All right, you were saying, Shane?
I was just gonna say I've added a backstory in there. I'm open to like adding in whatever details from the world,
Awesome.
but it's pretty vague right now. But I'm pretty open to adding in whatever for hooks or flavor or whatever you want.
Sounds good.
So yeah, I've got a drop as well. I work fairly early in the morning, so
no worries.
Um,
This is about roughly the time we'd be stopping for our normal game session,
Okay.
anyways. So
that's perfect. I'll see you guys all. Is this weekly or bi-weekly?
bi-weekly.
Semi-weekly.
Yep.
Bi-weekly. Great. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds
Okay.
good, Shane. Bye.
Right on. Nice meeting you all.
To meet y'all.
See it.
So Sean, without giving too much away, are we going to be facing like a whole undead? Because the character that I had built up, in his original canon, was the Bane of Undead.
Gotcha. Undead is not going to be very common. I do know a few places where undead could be encountered, but you guys would have to do a bit of traveling to get to those locations. And so it is possible, depending on what you guys choose to do, but I do not foresee it. That's the best way I can put it.
I appreciate it. I just wanted to know. That's just gonna change out a couple of like my cantrips, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a fair question to ask, because there's nothing worse than taking spells that affect certain types and then never encountering those. That never is fun.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head off. Thanks for hosting.
Yeah.
And for running the game. I look forward to diving into all those lore blurbs.
For sure. Yeah, and I'm, even though I show as offline, I'm pretty much always online. I work on computers. I'm on my computer working all day, so you can definitely reach me most of the time.
Okay. If I have any questions about something, then I will let you know.
Sounds good.
Or if I have a character concept, I'll run it by you.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not too worried about whatever character you're looking at. You're more likely going to want to pitch your character concept to the rest of the group, because that's who it's really going to affect the most. Because for me, whatever characters you come up with, it's not really going to affect the campaign overall as much as it is the group dynamic. And since I have no control over your guys' characters and the group dynamic, that's who you're going to want to really talk with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, nice to meet you all, and I will hopefully see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Nice to meet you too.
Sounds good,
See
Mike.
Right.
See ya.
I'm gonna hop off too then.
All right. Sounds good, Julian. You have a good day.
You too. See ya.
All right, Baines.